Hello there, Eagles fans. Welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
And we are recording Monday, October 14th, 2024. Just a day after the Eagles got their third win of the season against the Cleveland Browns at home in Philly. We like to usually record on Sunday nights, get this out on Monday, but with I announced on my last podcast, I just had my baby. We're kind of just recording when we can. So this is just how it's going to have to be. Hopefully you'll bear along with us as we do that, but we'll try to get this out to you as early as possible. Of course, all the sports shows have already come out and said all their things today, so now it's our turn, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah. How are we feeling today, Dad?
Well, it was a good win. I mean, it wasn't a great game. Not what we expected, but defense played a lot better. That was good. Our guys are all back. We had a little bit of Nixon going on here, but I thought it was an enjoyable game. I would have liked to have seen us blow them out, but it's not going to happen, I don't think, for a while this year. But
yeah,
it's what it is. We got the third win. Everybody else in the division did not do so well, so we got to take what we get.
That's true. Let's get into it then. As always, we want to give a plug to the Philadelphia Eagles fan club in Colorado Springs. They met at Rhinos to watch the game. Going forward, they're going to be meeting at Rhinos for the foreseeable future. We'll see how many times we're able to sneak out and go there and everything, since we got the baby to hang out around and everything. So we'll see what's going on there. But we hope to see you there. We hope to hear you're there and all that sort of stuff. It's a great time, great people. And Rhinos is a great bar. They do the raffle and everything like that.
It's
awesome.
That raffle is unbelievable.
Man. He goes nuts, and he gave us full reign of the TV. That was awesome last time. I don't know how it was yesterday during the Browns game, but I thought it was pretty awesome last week when we went.
Definitely accommodating to the
absolutely,
group, so.
Definitely, yeah. All right, let's get into the good, the bad, and the hurts. The good, it's a win. Like you said, it's a win. I don't know if it's not a great win. It's not a great game. It's not oh wow, but it's a win, and it goes down in the win column. This is a team that, unfortunately, we should be 4-1 if we had not dropped that pass. Yes, I'm still not over that.
Yes.
But hey, we're 3-2. Like you said yesterday, the division had a really bad day. Great day for us. I mean, it was a wonderful day.
We had a great day.
Just watching Dallas lose. We'll talk about that one.
Yeah, that was beautiful too.
But it's a win. It goes down on a win. Like you said, the defense played great. I know this is the Browns, so it is the worst offense in the league. So you better have played great.
Yeah.
Defense only let up 9 points. Of course, they scored 16 because of the blocked field goal and everything, which was terrible. But we'll talk about special teams in a second.
That was something else. Yeah.
I have another positive on the good side of defense. Cooper DeJean.
Oh my gosh!
I thought he made a major change right away. I thought
and,
right
and
away.
He should have been in there a couple weeks ago, but we'll take what we get.
Absolutely.
Playing tight coverage is what we've been calling for the whole season. I saw him, 3 or 4 times. He took away the short dump pass, which drives me insane, and he would redirect that wide receiver that was in the slot into the middle of the field. He's giving the guy 2 yards, shoving him in the middle. The quarterback looks over there. He can't throw it there.
Yep.
And then you got a linebacker or so in the middle of the field or another corner figuring it out. But he played great. They blitzed him, 3-4 times?
I think he went after the quarterback probably 2 or 3 times for sure. Yeah.
And he's fast as all get out.
Got a half a sack. Wish he would have gotten the full sack.
Yeah.
But still, that was great. And you're right. He's speedy. He's fast. He's physical. He plays with the physicality at the line of scrimmage that it's kind of refreshing because we haven't seen it in a long time. A guy like Slay, he's not a very physical guy. He's just fast and great and everything. But, this is a physical guy that I really like.
It brings the speed. It helps with Quinion. I mean, I just thought he was the difference for a lot of it. Now, if we get that a little bit more, now those other guys can do what they did. And we saw what ended up happening.
Yeah.
We had 5 sacks yesterday.
It's true.
That's amazing. That's
Absolutely.
incredible.
I didn't write this one down, but another positive I just have to point out. Alongside Cooper DeJean in the defense, the Bryce Huff getting his first half sack.
Yeah.
That was a positive as well. Keely Ringo is what I was going to say, though.
Okay.
Keely Ringo, he came in for Slay when Slay went out with his knee injury.
Right.
And right away they went to attack him. He had a huge hit on the sideline that just almost I was worried there was going to be a flag. I'm happy there wasn't because it definitely was just a solid good hit.
That guy, yeah.
And then he had what people kind of thought was going to be a pass interference, but you and I were Keely Ringo. Right. He knew. He's like, no, that was face mask. He got me. That was on him.
Yeah, it's funny because when you're watching that play, you can see the one referee to the right looked like he was going to call pass interference.
Definitely.
But the other referee was staring right at him.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of knew right away. We were like, what's the call? What's going to happen? And I think it's a face mask. And sure enough, when they showed that side angle, you saw him couldn't even turn around because we're always saying that. Turn around and play the ball.
Turn around, yeah.
And he couldn't. I mean, and he made the effort, and he kind of sold it too. And that's what you always talk about. Our DBs don't know how to sell that defensive pass interference.
Definitely. No,
or offensive pass interference.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you.
no, but
it was refreshing to see him come in and play well. I think he's a guy that should be involved in the defense going forward a lot more. Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Quinyon Mitchell, use these young guys that you spent draft picks on.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything like take Slay out of the game or anything. I'm not saying that. We'll see what his injury does.
But if it dictates it, if he's playing slow, if he's not covering like he needs to,
Yeah,
and it's funny because that was where Isaiah Rodgers did that punch, trying to punch the ball out and he hurt his hand.
And I think that's the same hand he had injured at the beginning of the season.
I mean, but then they brought Ringo in and he made some plays, so we were pretty excited.
Yeah.
But that face mask took him from the 10 to the 25-yard line. That was a huge 15-yarder.
Yeah. Then I've got other goods. Just a great reminder now that they're back that these guys are amazing. A.J. Brown, 6 for 116, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, 3 for 64, 1 touchdown. We only ran the ball for 116 yards, and A.J. had 116 receiving yards.
Wow.
So he had as many yards as we had rushing.
Yeah.
And he had more yards than they had rushing. They only had 100. So just a great reminder. Both these guys are just incredible. Both had a touchdown. Devontae had 3 for 64 and a touchdown. Great to have them back. It's just so game-changing for us to have them.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that it's not something you like to see, that if they're not in the game, our offense has just no ability at all, But when they're in, they're just unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're
Calcaterra was amazing too.
That's my next up. I had Calcaterra's 4 for 67. That's a big thing because we talked about it, and a lot of people talk about it in the media. Jalen, it takes a while for him to trust guys, and it's frustrating because once you lose AJ and Devontae for 2 games, then now we're all done,
right?
And then we lost Goddard during the game, so it's like, there's another guy you
lost him in the first couple plays. But no, the Calcaterra thing was great because again, it goes back to what I was complaining about, the middle of the field.
Yes,
we always throw these out passes, and you break the middle of the field just once or twice a game, and man, it opens up everything.
And they did with Calcaterra those 4 times, and then they did with Devontae for the touchdown.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
Beautiful. I don't know if you call it a rubber out or.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but
rubber out maybe.
Stoll sold that one
great.
really well. Didn't touch anybody. We always get the pass interference. You got to know how to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And just look like you're going a route. You're not looking really to block. You're just getting in the way of somebody.
Definitely.
And he did a great job on that.
It's good to see Calcaterra because we need that. We need another person that Jalen trusts. He can't just be throwing it to 3 guys all the time. That was one of the downsides I had on this game. Jalen threw the ball to 5 guys, and it's the 5 guys you want him to throw it to. Calcaterra taking the place of Goddard,
right?
But I looked at other teams and they're
6,
throwing to 7 guys, 8 guys,
9.
That's what you got to do. That's how. I know we don't like to talk about the Chiefs on here, but that's why the Chiefs are great.
You got to spread it
because
around.
Mahomes throws the ball to 20 different guys,
right?
And
not just once. I mean, it's 2 or 3 to him, and 2 to 3 to him, 5 to your big top guy, whatever. But AJ was amazing.
It's great. And then the last positive I have, or the last really good I have, the pass rush. 5 sacks across the board. A sack, like I said, a half sack for Bryce Huff, half sack for Cooper DeJean. Milton Williams got one. Moro Ojomo.
Carter
got one.
Nolan Smith got one.
That was good to see. Man, I'll tell you what. Let me throw this in. I didn't even write this down, but it just came to mind. Josh Sweat had one too. But Moro Ojomo. Dude, this guy's.
So I thought he had a sack, but I know.
Did he not?
No,
was it officially not?
He doesn't even have a stat from what I saw in the one book.
Interesting. Yeah, you're
right.
But
he was ropping guys up all day.
He played great.
Well, he had a set of downs. I'm going to say probably 2 plays in a row at one point where we both looked at each other and said, he's got to be a starter.
Dude, he's got to play.
Because he was just pushing them back, and it wasn't on that 3rd string center. He was playing over the guard. So, I mean, and he was pushing that guy back and just made some great stunts.
Yeah, he played 37 snaps, 48% of the snaps. Carter played 68% of the snaps. Davis played 48% of the snaps. So I like that. I want to see Ojomo around the same spot as Davis.
Milton Williams had a sack, right?
Until Davis really breaks open.
Milton Williams got a half sack.
Yeah,
so it was a party for everybody.
It really was. Yeah, I'm confused about the Ojomo. Mate, did he not have him wrapped up?
I think it was just a couple tackles for loss. But why would he? I know he had one solo tackle, unless there was a penalty and it just.
I swear Ojomo had him wrapped when he threw the ball, and they thought, he threw it,
right?
And then they reviewed it and they challenged it.
I thought so too.
He was on that one, but that's okay. It's okay.
Relook,
maybe things will get changed later today. It's midday. They might change some stats.
True, but I mean, he played phenomenally. So I mean, you got 4 guys now that have been make plays. Milton Williams had it a few games ago, and then today he had a half a sack, so he was in there. So
yes,
but yeah, they ran a little bit on us early. They had that one running back got like 6 or 7 yards of carry, but They didn't sustain it. He only had like 6 carries
Yeah.
for 43 yards or something.
Yeah, it wasn't sustainable. Like you said, they only had 100 yards.
Watson only
rushing.
had 17 yards rushing. So, I mean, they did a great job.
That's good.
There was a great play Nolan Smith made when it was, second and goal on the 5, and he took on 2 blockers, shed them, and then pushed out and kept the running back inside, the fourth, 3 or 4 yard line, and they made a gang tackle on him, but it was an amazing play too.
Yeah.
So he played better. We needed him, man.
Yeah. Another good. I'm sorry. I'm making the good longer, which I guess is really good that we're thinking about it. And it's making it a better thing. Brandon Graham. We
that
talk
one
about
play.
it. Congrats to him. He played his 200th game.
Yeah, the most.
We're going to talk about that play in a little bit.
Yeah, but the most ever.
He's played his 200th game. It's the most ever in Eagles franchise history, and he's still playing great. Didn't get a sack, but he still was just back there making plays all day.
He was all over the place again.
And 5 total tackles for him. I mean,
that's
it's
incredible.
That's
I did see that
crazy.
Dean, who was my player to watch last week, he had 12 tackles, 6 being solo. So
nice.
He did good.
7. I got 7 here. So
okay.
It's all different.
That's all right.
Let's go into the bad. All right, so the bad. Special teams continues to be a weak spot on the team. Last week, I guess 2 weeks ago before the bye week, they tried to kill Cooper DeJean, Keith Ringo, and Quignon. Keith Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers.
Own team.
They tried to murder Cooper DeJean by throwing guys into him.
Yeah.
And then running into him.
Right.
I know we did have a block 2-point conversion a couple weeks ago, but still, other than that, it just feels like the special teams has not been great this year. Punter is solid. Jake Elliott, I feel like they might need to rethink their strategy on the kickoff.
On the kickoffs, yeah.
I think he needs to be doing the kickoff because I think that's got to keep him warm. You know what I mean?
Something.
Because and I know a 57-yarder, it's a longer wind-up time, so it gives him more chance to block
and a flatter kick.
So it gives him
should have never happened. We know that.
It gives him more chance to block. But it's just, I'm thinking he's not kicking much this year because we were going for it on all those horrible 4th downs in Atlanta and New Orleans and all these, and then all these bad decisions that they were making and still are making.
But I do think you need to have your kicker kick the ball.
I agree.
Maybe not every kick. I mean, he can kick it out of the end zone. Man is doing the same thing. He's kicking the same thing. So.
Sorry, we're having like a major windstorm outside. Wow, that came out of nowhere.
So it's not like Man is putting it out of the end zone. So does Elliott. So maybe he's sore and they don't want to hurt him. I'll tell you what I feel. I don't have the confidence in the kicking game that I've had the last 3 years. And I know we always talk about that, but in the old days, remember I used to have to leave the room during the field goals, but then there was a time I stopped because it was automatic.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have left the room the other day. Maybe that was bad.
No, I saw that one.
It's funny, man.
And it's funny because
you left. Remember?
Was I out of the room? Okay.
You were walking out.
I heard it.
And I remember I said you were holding my baby, and I was like, man, pray to God this doesn't get blocked.
Yep.
And then
I heard it.
And you came right back in. It was terrible.
I heard it.
So just bad. Special teams just is getting a little worse.
But it's funny. I did watch the blocked field goal again, and at one point, if it wasn't Garrett, it was the guy next to him, was almost offsides. They moved forward and they came back as they snapped it. So you got to rewatch it. But he pulled the same thing that guy did last week with the blocked field goal. Just cleared the center. Center's got to learn how to stand right up, I guess.
Yeah. I
mean, you just couldn't do it. We shouldn't have been kicking a 57. It should have been a 51 at the least. It should have been a first down, but
it's bad.
That's for another thing.
Well, that's the next thing I have to say.
Yeah.
The play calling is still unbelievably questionable. Our quarterback is starting out the games 0 for 5.
Yeah.
The end of half coaching is terrible, and I have not changed my mind. I'm still calling for Sirianni's job. I don't know what to say about it. It's just bad. It's just not good. End of the second quarter, we get the ball. Okay, we have the ball. Minute 14 seconds left. No, wait. I'm sorry.
It was over the 2-minute warning when we got it back.
Paris Campbell. Am I on the wrong game or something?
I don't know.
I'm confused.
Yeah, Campbell didn't do much.
It just gave me a Paris Campbell statistic.
He didn't do anything.
Oh, it took me to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game book. So my snap counts were probably wrong. Yeah, I have the game book.
Yeah, that game book is tough.
Let's see. So the end of the second quarter, we get the ball. Okay. And let's see. Penalty 5 yards. Okay, so it's 1st and 15. Hurts passed to Calcaterra for 20 yards. Great.
Right.
Jalen Hurts passed to A.J. Brown for 17 yards on 1st and 10.
That was when he broke the tackle.
Okay, then a minute left. We snap the ball again. 1st and 10. Jalen Hurts passed right to A.J. Brown for 9 yards.
Right.
Boom.
Second and 1.
Go ahead and call a little timeout here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and call a little timeout.
Got 2 more left.
There's 52 seconds left, maybe 45 seconds left.
I think it was 54, but go ahead.
Go ahead and call a timeout after that play. Well, no, they let it go down to 36 seconds.
Right.
And then they throw it to
Barkley in the flat.
Barkley. And for some reason, Barkley just runs out of bounds. He doesn't go for the first down, even though we have 3 timeouts left at that point.
We did.
Still have
we
3
did.
timeouts.
Yes.
He doesn't try to get more yards. He just runs out of bounds and does not get the first down. And right away, you and I'm like, oh my God, he didn't get the first down. And it's like, oh, maybe he did. Like, and they the announcer's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I don't think he got the first down. I said he got
it. You said he didn't get it.
I'm like,
he did not get it.
He didn't get it. And
he lost half a yard.
Yeah, probably.
Seriously, it looked like he had the ball in the wrong hand.
Yep.
He didn't do the stretchy thing. I mean, it was just, I don't know.
So then after that 2nd and 1, it's 3rd and 1, and the clock has already stopped. We call a timeout.
Because the play clock was going down.
What are you doing? Like,
yeah, you had 40 seconds.
And then this is such a great, like, it's such a great, I don't know, a euphemism or symbolism of it. 3rd and 1, come out of a timeout, 7-step drop back, Hurts gets sacked. Oh. Puts you a field goal range to a 57-yarder, and then it gets blocked.
Yes.
And it's funny because it's a perfect, like I said, it's a perfect symbol of coming out of the bye week, playing at home,
playing flat,
and coming out terrible with the 3-and-out right away, and you win a game 20-16 against the worst offense, the worst team. Worst offense in the league.
One of them, yeah.
By far the worst offense in the league. Probably the worst quarterback in the league, at least this season so far.
I would say yes.
And how do you come out of a bye week
at home?
Yeah,
flat.
No travel and flat.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's so confusing how this can happen.
2 weeks.
2 weeks to prepare for this one team.
To game plan, the first 15 plays or something.
Well, you do the first 15. That's the big thing. The first 15.
It didn't look like it to me
and then it gets blocked. It was a perfect little symbol of like, oh, like this is just those 3 plays of throwing it to Saquon, not getting the first down, getting sacked, getting a field goal blocked for a touchdown. It was just a perfect example of like, oh yeah, coming out of the bye week completely flat, unprepared. So this coaching staff, they're not getting these guys prepared for the game.
I think Barkley was the 32-yard line, maybe the 31 at that point when he ran
31
out.
For no gain.
So 2nd and 1, you got 3 timeouts. Why not run the ball?
I don't know.
Give it a pass look and run the ball.
I would have called a timeout.
Get that first down.
I would have called a timeout on the end of that 1st and 10. AJ got 9 yards. Right. It's 2nd and 1. It's timeout time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Timeout time. We got 54 seconds left, like you said.
Right.
50,
at the
50.
30.
Let's just say 50.
Right.
At the 30, at the 31, you're looking for a touchdown. We're not looking for field goal here.
Right.
Field goal is, the guy dropped the ball.
But at the least, you got to get the 3 points. I know you're not that. You don't think like I do, but I get that.
It's true. No, you do have to.
Argue with that all the time. I understand that. We're allowed to argue. But there's times that I'll say, okay, just play for the field goal. But if we can get the touchdown, that's great. But you got to guarantee I need a 25-yard, 35-yard easy field goal.
It's a good point.
We blew it. I mean, 2nd and 1 at 54 seconds left-ish. Either get up to the ball and run and get the first down, then you call your timeout.
Yeah,
but then you have 3 scripted pass plays to get touchdown or get that easy field goal. You get it at a half.
And you get 2 timeouts after that if you use the timeout there.
Yeah,
so instead they take a sack and then they get their field goal blocked on 4th and 9.
I just think Sirianni plays too cute. That's what I call it. Just playing too cute.
I just think he doesn't prepare this team whatsoever. I don't think I don't know what it is. I mean, it's great that he has the leadership ability to grit out tough games. I'll give him that. Like tough games that are close.
Right.
He's pretty good at. We're going to grit this out. Yeah. We're going to beat the Packers. Every game this year that we've won, really. The Packers,
every one possession game we've won.
The Falcons game was the biggest one that was just terrible. Yeah. But he has an ability to grit out the game. Like we're gonna get this through. But he doesn't have any ability to prepare these guys for the games. Like the reason we're winning these games is because. Thank God we have the most talented roster in the league.
We got.
I have my thoughts on Hurts, but I'm not gonna. I'll say this.
But you're right.
A couple of weeks ago, I came on here. I said Hurts is not the guy. I still do believe that, but that's not me saying Hurts isn't good. I think Hurts is good. I think he's good enough to get you to the playoffs. He's good enough to do this. He's good enough to win you games. He's not a bad player in any sense. I don't mean that.
Well, here's the other thing about calling for Nick's head. Right, Nick Sirianni, fired coach. Eventually, he is going to get fired. Right, eventually.
Yeah, it's true.
If not fired, let go. That's the way it works. So you can always say, "Oh, he's not going to be the coach forever." He's not. We're not going to have a 10-year run with this guy. Yeah. It's obvious. Same with Hurts as quarterback. But I mean, I do think what really should have happened now, looking in retrospect, he should have been going after last year's wild card loss to the Tampa Bay. I mean, everybody's talking about they fired a coach. They fired the coaches. No, they fired.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But we brought these other coaches in.
It bothers me because we posted a TikTok the other day, and it got some pretty good comments and stuff. And And I was kind of not arguing, but talking with this guy, and he's like, well, it's a new coaching staff. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. Because guess who's still here? There's one common denominator from last season.
Well, guess who's sneaking in and calling plays every once in a while, too?
It's just bad.
Either one or the other or none. Like, that's the thing to me. I heard he said he called a defensive play.
I know.
I need to know which play it was.
Because maybe it was a great play, but
it could have been.
I agree.
I think he said he called a defensive play and it didn't work out from what he said. But, I mean, I thought the way we were playing them defensively, I think now we can play a little more defense without being scared.
Yeah.
I think because they played good. I don't know if it's going to be every other week, but I really think DeJean is going to make the change and is going to make the difference. And then you got Sidney coming back and some of these other guys. So
yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, Sidney coming back later or maybe next week would be great. But let's go into the Hurts. Overall, I have him as an okay game. If I gave him a letter grade, I don't usually care about doing that or anything. Give him a B.
Yeah,
I thought he played pretty well. No turnovers, huge step. That's great.
Right.
I do worry about the fact that it's just not a great team and it was a banged up defense. But hey, no turnovers. You play who you play, and he didn't have a turnover.
You take what you get.
Yes.
You take what they give you, and that's what he did. Some of those deep passes to AJ's.
Well, hold on a second. Yeah. So we start the game. Let's get that in a second. That's for my end. Started the game 0 for 5.
Right.
And he really came back from that. He went 16 for 20 the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I was wrong there at the beginning. He went 0 for 5, and I was like, dude,
what's happening?
This is terrible. Yeah. Like, you can't. This is a guy who he needs to build his confidence right at the game. He needs to hit this guy, and then hit Goddard, and then hit Devontae, and then hit Saquon.
And that's every quarterback.
You can't start him 0 for 5.
I agree.
But I was wrong. He did come back and played really well, and got 16 to 20 down the stretch.
Well, that's the other thing. I think he got a quarterback rating of 100, and I go, you can't throw that out. That's bull.
And then the biggest thing that you were jumping in, I'm sorry that I cut you off.
It's okay.
His 2 biggest throws of the game, I guess you could argue he had 3 big throws. One of them was the Devontae touchdown, which was great.
I thought it was beautiful.
His other 2 biggest passes, so number 1, the AJ touchdown, the first one, and then the icing the game 40-yard pass to AJ.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have been saying, and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, a lot of people have been saying, oh, it was a great pass, and oh, it was a great throw, and this and that. And I thought they were both pretty bad throws. The first one, I could maybe watch it again, and it was here. He had it here, and he kind of caught it on his shoulder.
Unbelievable how he held on to that ball.
But the second one was not a good throw. If he was playing against a better cornerback, that ball was going to be picked off. Right. It hit AJ. He had to go. He did this.
It was a basket.
And not only did he have to do this, he had to slow down, have a guy run into him, and then pray to God he caught it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to bash him too much because he did have a pretty good game, but thank God we have A.J. Brown.
I mean, it looked like it dropped right in there, but to me, it was short. And I don't know why they're throwing it. It was 2nd and 11. He doesn't catch it. 3rd and 11. He's still got 2 minutes left in the game.
I like aggression at times. That maybe wasn't the best choice there. It happened, so we don't really want to bash it because it was a great catch.
It's one of those
not
ones
a great
when he
throw.
catches it, we looked at each other and went, okay, that's the game, but boy, if he didn't catch that, we would have been biting our nails again for
3rd and
2
11.
minutes.
Would have been 3rd and 11. They still would have had a timeout.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We probably would have ran the ball just to waste their timeout.
Yeah.
So I thought he played pretty well. I thought he had an overall okay game.
He did have some good runs. I'm going to have to say that.
Yeah.
He pulled the ball out a few times, made some good plays. Of course, his running stats are so stupid.
Yeah, they get ruined because
the kneel downs
he kneels down 3 at the end.
And then
4
he had tushes.
4 tush
if
pushes.
Not 5, yeah.
So total, you take away, 7 rushes maybe? So he had 7 rushes total, and then you add 3 yards for each one he rushed. So 7 rushes for 36 yards.
Yeah, that's
kind of be about
take that.
what it would be.
Yeah.
No, pretty good.
5 yards carry. But he made never some big first downs. Again, I'm not real crazy about it when he runs as much as he does, but he had to.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's true. I got some under the nest plays if you're okay with getting into that.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Number 1 is the defense one. Under the nest, of course, is the segment where we talk about plays that kind of go forgotten because big plays happened afterwards or kind of overshadowed it. So number 1, I have under the nest with 11 minutes, 12 seconds in the 3rd quarter. Brandon Graham got that tackle for loss for -5 yards. It was 3rd and 1, and they ran a jet sweep, not really a jet sweep, I guess, but ran a sweep to the side, and Brandon Graham called out the play.
It's amazing. If you watch that play again, that is amazing.
Completely unblocked, and I don't even want to say he got completely unblocked. He didn't get phased. He didn't get juked. He didn't get a lot of times when those big guys, especially an older guy, goes at a wide receiver, that guy's going to beat him one-on-one. And Graham wrapped him up and took him down
as a takedown
for a little,
it was a
5-yard
tackling
loss.
clinic on that play, and that's what these other guys need to watch.
And the biggest thing about that and what overshadows that play is the next play, the Browns kicker missed a 52-yard field goal.
Right.
And that's
it's funny to have a huge play with 11 minutes left in the third quarter, but it was, to me, to the defense, a huge statement.
It was a shifting.
Because they were driving. But they probably at the 30-yard line at the time, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not
sure exactly what yard line they were at, but a 52-yarder, they lost 5 yards on that play. Yeah, they had to be at the 30, maybe the 25.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, you got to add 17 yards to it. So,
see, they were at the 34. Yep, they were at the 29 actually.
Yeah,
they were the Philadelphia 29.
Right.
So they were driving. And
they were.
That was a shift of a defense.
But that was huge. And definitely. He's just an amazing player. But it's so cool if you watch that play. He starts screaming and pointing at that guy before he even goes in motion.
Yeah.
Watch that guy, and you can see one of the linebackers kind of moves either to the right or left or steps up a little bit
to get ready
to listen to it. Yeah, watching what he's saying, and then he, of course, just busts in and tackles him within a second. It was beautiful.
Next play I have is an offensive one with 2 minutes, 14 seconds left in the game before the big AJ 40-yard catch. 2nd and 9 on the Philadelphia 39. Jalen threw the ball to Dotson for a 10-yard catch.
Who?
Yeah, Jahan Dotson. Yeah, he's still on the team.
No, that was
to get a first down, and that was just such a big deal.
Yeah.
Number one, for him to be trusted in that moment. That's a huge moment.
Agreed.
It's not like a first quarter moment.
Right.
It's a big moment. He trusted him. He went out of bounds, which is fine. It's not really a big deal at that point because it's at 2 minutes and 9 seconds when he catches the ball.
He got that first down.
And he got the first down. That's just
But that was also
huge.
Hurts rolling out as well.
Yes.
He was getting flushed out of the pocket.
Yep.
And you know how I feel about him on the run throwing the ball. It's
I know.
not very high percentage.
Yeah, not many throws left,
was huge.
that's for sure.
That was huge.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about the game specifically?
Not really, no.
I just have some injuries to touch on, and then we'll talk about some other games. Unfortunately, Goddard got injured, hamstring injury in the first drive. That was a bummer to see. You don't really want to see that guy go down. I think he's kind of the most important player on the offense. I always say, not really. I know it's a big deal.
But he's huge.
But he's just such a big mismatch, presence, blocking, receiving. He can do it all.
Definitely.
It's just big. Slay had a knee injury. Bummer to see. Good thing that Keely Ringo came in and played pretty well after that. But not something you want to see from your captain. I know there's a lot of stuff going around with the captain and everything, and we don't want to misconstrue his injury with no one really likes him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We don't want to see this guy injured. He's a leader on our team, and people look up to him. A lot of these rookies, Quinyon, Cooper, they look up to him. Keely, Rogers probably. They look up to this guy.
Well, he's a Pro Bowl player. That's what you're gonna do.
And then the biggest one that hurts me the most in my heart is Jordan Mailata, the hamstring injury. Needed help off the field. After the game, he was on crutches.
Yeah.
Expected to miss a couple weeks. It looks like it's reported now. Really stinks. It's just a
hopefully
big
it's
bummer.
not a tear. Hopefully it's just a bruise or whatever you get. But no, he played. We talked about it before the game about a possible push Pro Bowl this year if he can block, and he did.
That's the thing.
Well in this game until he went down.
I thought he did great.
Great Fred Johnson came in and played phenomenally again.
Yeah, played well. Yeah,
I saw they brought Tyler Steen out at one time when they did the
extra offensive lineman.
We didn't get many yards after that play, but I remember seeing him and going, "Oh, okay," because I love offensive line rotation. You just can't. You got to have that experience around.
Yeah. So, do you think what's the better option there? Real quick, just asking, Fred Johnson to come in and play left tackle going forward, or do you move Mekhi Becton over to left tackle and let Tyler Steen play right guard?
Yeah, that's wow.
I don't know.
Becton's been playing well.
You really don't want to. You don't want to mess up something that's going so well. But it is a difficult thing because left tackle is your most important spot on the offensive line, and Mailata was playing as a top left tackle in the league this year.
Yes.
So you really wanted to.
He has.
You really wanted him to be healthy. So do you want to move Mekhi Becton, who has a lot of experience playing at left tackle, or do you want to throw in Fred Johnson, who's got experience? But
I'm going to call Stoutland after this pod and just see what he says.
I'll ask him.
That's definitely. Steen definitely can do what he needs to do. Fred Johnson, of course, he's played well when he needed to. So, no big drop there, I don't think, because he played well. But we'll see.
All right, let's talk about some other games around the league then. Some fun games that happened this weekend, really for us. Packers Cardinals. We didn't get to watch much of the early games. Buccaneers Saints, Packers Cardinals. We were watching the Eagles game. Ravens Commanders. We kind of caught a little bit of in between commercial breaks.
Yeah.
We have 3 TVs usually set up for us in my house, so main TV got the Eagles game, and then the bottom left TV
4x.
had the 4x4, which
Right.
had 4 games on it that we kind of tried our best to pay attention
Yeah,
to.
Colts, Tennessee.
Yeah, stuff like that. Broncos. So it was good to see the whole division lost besides us. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
The bummer is the Commanders looked great.
Yeah, they still look good.
Even though they lost, they looked great.
Yeah.
I don't think Jaden Daniels still didn't have a
2
turnover.
touchdowns, no
269 yards
Yeah.
passing and 22 yards rushing. So held in the rushing category.
Yeah, they did hold them, and hopefully that's what we can do. I mean, that's what we're gonna have to start watching for. You got those ends, got a box. I say it all the time, and they did it yesterday because Watson will run, and he didn't have a chance. So
yeah. Broncos looked really tough. We had that game on in the afternoon, but we were really focused on the main game that we were loving. But let's real quick say the Giants lost to the Bengals as well. I didn't watch that game too much last night. I was kind of tired out from the whole day of football, and I was hanging with my baby. So
it was 7-0 in the third quarter, so it wasn't much to miss.
Not much to miss. So then let's talk about the game that we had a lot of fun watching. The great game we got to watch was the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions made a statement. I think, I wondered if in an interview one of the Lions players was going to say something about, we're mad that the ref stole the game from us last year. And so we wanted to prove we didn't want to give them the chance this time.
Right.
Something like that. Because last year, of course, the infamous he didn't report eligible when he went over to the ref and everything like that.
We remember that.
Then this year they made a statement on Sunday by just clobbering the Cowboys in their own home, 47-9. Great game to watch. My favorite game of the weekend by far.
Yeah.
I'll watch a Cowboys loss. I'd rather watch a Cowboys loss than an Eagles win at this point. I'm one of those fans. I don't know. Maybe that's bad. But God, I love a Cowboys loss.
Well, they're 0-3 at home for the first time in I don't know how long. So that's huge. Huge.
89 maybe, something like that. I think I might have heard.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some other sports just real quick as we say our goodbyes. Do you have anything else on football?
No, but it was a great day.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
It wasn't the greatest win, but it was a win's a win, as they say.
And it was good for the division.
First game out of the bye. We're 4-0 with Sirianni's in the bye right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing, just some other sports as we say our goodbyes. Flyers, they won their first game, lost their second, so they're 1-1 right now. U of A. I'm saying Penn State. Penn State 5-0 had a great game against USC. That's probably what I was trying to say.
Good comeback.
USC, great comeback. That was awesome to watch. It was a nice pregame for the Eagles game the next day.
True.
It was just really awesome to watch.
Plus, they were down too. They were down 14-3. I think.
Big time. Yeah, they're on the bye week right now again, and then they come back against Wisconsin, and then this is when they go into the hardest part of the schedule.
Right.
Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington. I think Ohio State's the only one that's ranked out of there, but Washington, they were in the championship last year and everything, so some pretty good teams coming up. But yeah, man, it's they're rolling well, and they rank third now in the AP polls and everything, which is. I mean, I haven't seen them ranked that high since 2017 when they were number 2.
Yeah.
I think they were number 2 in 2017 for a bit when they had Saquon. But yeah, this is great, man. It's awesome to see, and it's just good for the state, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But Well, then let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We don't do Twitter anymore. You can follow us on TikTok, though.
Yeah.
If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe down below. You can email us your questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles fly.